Hey everybody, Kaysha here, and today I am here with my friend
Jennifer Guskin,
and we need your help. We are right now working on advocacy for combating human trafficking, and here's why. So we'll give you a little bit of background of our story and why we're doing what we're doing.
I was adopted as an infant by a couple who sold me throughout my childhood. I have been to Epstein Island and on multiple Lolita Express types of flights as a child. After I went public, Child Protective Services opened a substance-exposed newborn case, even though all tests came back negative, and they told me that if I wouldn't stop posting on social media, I would never see my daughter again. I started to connect how I was adopted as an infant and then sold throughout my childhood, how many other children who have been through the adoption, foster, and CPS pipelines have also been trafficked to Epstein's Elk.
And as many of you guys know already, based on the work that we do at the Kaysha Project, I'm an American Indian born in Canada under the Jay Treaty. My father and I were exposing the improper contagion mitigations for the COVID pandemic in early 2020. As a result of this, I lost everything: a house, cars, corporate assets, jobs. Bank accounts were shut down in Canada, and I fled to the US as an American Indian, fully documented, and was trafficked by rogue agents in ICE and other agents in the government, and forced to live with single American men. I was even imprisoned for 7 months initially, and then trafficked throughout the states. Put on full surveillance tracking and wasn't allowed to leave the city, house, or state without permission, or work without permission. And that happened for many years, and I was on and off the streets because of that, and in and out of shelters. And that is just a small example of what many go through in this trafficking system, be it the family courts or otherwise. So that's why the Kaysha Project will be going to DC to speak with representatives and do live reporting. We're also going to be in contact with other families who are dealing with human trafficking, and through the CPS courts or through any other means, lesser versions of trafficking, and doing reporting on them live and otherwise. We will also be working on, we ultimately want to shine light on what's going on with the trafficking here in the US. And we also want to meet with various agencies in DC, and we'll be going back and forth for training sessions and other things so that we can be better equipped to help people deal with resolving some of the issues that we're seeing. We will also be putting forth petitions in government to help people get justice, and that's something that we have been working on already so far. We have some petitions that have recently been filed in the state of Colorado, Michigan, Texas, and Arizona, and we will be continuing.
But we can't do this on our own. We will be traveling to events and training courses, as well as DC on a consistent basis. We also have to get acceptable equipment, such as computers, cameras, interview gear, etc. There will be other miscellaneous costs that would also be like gas, food, and rooms if necessary.
So that is why we are working towards combating human trafficking, and that is exactly why we need your help. We cannot do this alone, and most what the Kaysha Project does is on its own dime. And so we do love and appreciate each and every one of you that support us and all the work that we do. As many of you know, we also live stream on Lindell TV every day. And everything we do, like I said, is on our own dime. So we appreciate all the love and support and all the people who do donate. And we would very much love and appreciate that still. Thank you everybody for your time and considerations, and thank you for all the support, and we will catch you guys in the next one, and hopefully we might see you guys in the future and come across you and maybe be able to do some great things together.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Kaysha Project Podcast. Today we are going to talk about probably a little bit of a lighter subject, which is kind of a good thing to switch gears. And Casey, you can probably ease us into this because we're going to talk a little bit about that whole idea of the thing that was going on TikTok with the gingers being black. So want to kind of mention it because I know you saw it, brought this to my attention.
The gingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully this stream is a lot more lighter. I'm irritated. I hate the world right now, but yeah, pretty much gingers are black. If you don't know, now you know. Sorry sucks to suck. I know a lot of you people don't want to hear that, which is funny. The people who are not even redheads are the ones complaining about people saying redheads are black. But if you know, you know. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is about red haired people, but they're black. They're 100% black. I don't care. You know that song, N-word, N-word, N-word? I'm 100% N-word. I'm 200%. Yeah, that's redheads, man. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just like they are they're looked down upon in the same way, and it's like even the Irish. I mean, in the old days too, I believe they also burned them alive the same because they thought they were witches. So, anyways, it's just really funny, but it's not funny. But welcome to the club. If you have red hair, welcome to the club. And yeah, shout out to you. We're going to look at some clips today, and we're going to look at it also, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. If you look at the N word, Nigger, it's the exact same letters in the word ginger. And I actually found a clip on TikTok where this guy said that a kid told that to him when he was younger. He's a redhead. And I was surprised because my dad and I the other day were laughing about that. So, yeah, let's get to it, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So this is a clip where the woman who started talking about this whole thing.
Why gingers are black. A lot of y'all Irish people were right beside black people on the plantation. Okay? FYI. But all of y'all are descendants of a Haitian deity named Brigitte Samedi. That's why all gingers are black.
That is so funny. And you know what's hilarious? My dad's sister was born with red hair. My dad, his whole life, when he did have hair, would wear hats so that it wouldn't turn red in the sun. My hair turns red in the sun. It's actually now, I can see it already changing colors, and I'm just like, let me hide away in the house. But yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know how true that Bridget Simity thing is, but there are a lot of black people with red hair, and we have a lot of red hair genetic in our family, or redness or whatever. So that's very interesting. Then again, Mama is also mixed with Scottish or Irish, so I'm not kind of surprised like that.
Yeah, so now we're gonna pull up this clip of this guy. And this was kind of funny what he was talking about, so we'll just get to it.
As a male ginger who grew up through all of these,
gingers have no friends and no one will have sex with them. They come out at night, they creep and crawl. Who does God hate most of all? Gingers. Who should have never been born? Gingers. Who's adopted? Gingers. Who belongs with floating turds in the fucking toilet bowl? Gingers.
I just want to say to all of you that are part of this TikTok trend, thank you. Thank you.
It's kind of funny, but yeah, they do get made fun of. Like, I mean, I heard all kinds of things and so forth. So it's, some people were getting serious about it, and some people are just like, I'm like, yeah, we get it. It's fun. People should have fun with it. And at a time where the world is burning down, a little laughter is not a bad thing. Right? Like, I mean,
little party never killed nobody. No Diddy.
Yeah, where is it? Let me see where this is. I'll put this up, pull up this one here, clip here. Yeah, this one here. Maybe I should actually get the right thing up here because I'm going a little bit here. But you got a lot of people talking about their life and things, and some of it was kind of cool. Some of it, most of it was pretty good, and people brought out some interesting things. And so let's listen to what this guy says here. Because he talks about, is that it? Yes. So this guy, he's a ginger, and he starts talking about being accepted by black people.
When I tell you you're going to get sick of seeing me until this trend is over, I love this trend so much. This is my wife, and this is her mother. I know what it feels like to be loved and appreciated by black people. My mother-in-law and me are like this. That's my twin. I love her. That I'm the son she never had. It's weird, so close. I know what it feels like to be loved and appreciated by black people. That's why I'm so excited about, even if it's a trend, I know it's going to die down, but it's the most beautiful, loving, compassionate thing ever. And I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like because I live it every day. When I tell you my wife is my rock, my life, she prays over me. She loves me. She fed my dad his last meal before he passed away. I will die for that woman. I love her so much. And to see all these other gingers get just a little piece of love on TikTok and admiration, it's beautiful. And I love it. I swear to God, I love it. So when y'all see me for the next couple of days, just know it's all love because I know what it feels like. I know how good it feels. I live it every day. I'm so thankful to have her. This is my beautiful wife and her beautiful mother. I know what it's like. And I just want everyone else to know it's that important. It's that serious. Thank y'all.
You know what's so funny, and that's really nice of him. What's so funny is when I went to university, and there were redheads when I was going to school, and I was always friends with them. I liked them. I don't know. Again, they always were giving black. Like they were just giving black girl, black boy, or mixed or whatever. But when we went to university, there was these girls that, girls always talk about their preference and they're like, oh, I like black guys or whatever. And there was this one guy who was attractive. He was a redhead and he was a white guy, obviously. And very, obviously like Scottish roots or whatever, full red flaming beard and hair or whatever. But he would get the cuts, like fades and stuff like that. And the girls would like, oh, but he's white. And they're like, no, he's a redhead. He's black. It doesn't count. He's black. Like even the girls in university, when they were talking about dating guys' preference, they would make the exception for the redheads because they were like, nah, they're black. Like they don't count as white. Like they have the same kind of flow. They have the same kind of swagger about them. I don't know. It is a lot of the times, at least the ones that I've known growing up, maybe it's because they've been extricated the way that, either minorities or whatever have been, but they're always just kind of smooth, a little bit more smooth than other people, I don't know, and a little bit more charismatic. And I think you actually have to be when you get trashed on all the time. You kind of have to pick up where, you have to make yourself more likable in your character. Whereas other people are like, oh, I have this attribute that everybody loves already. You're going to be expecting the attention all the time. Doesn't work like that with the redheads. So yeah.
Speaking about, you talked about the gingers in school, the redheads. We'll bring up this clip here.
Y'all not realize that the TV shows have been telling us since the beginning of time that the gingers belonged on this side, not that side. They've been telling us. Wait, I'm gonna prove it. Starting off strong, we had Raven, we had Eddie, and we had who? Chelsea. Good old redheaded Chelsea. Next, we got the Proud family. We got Penny Proud and all her friends. And who was right there in the middle? Zoe. And Zoe used to be hitting that shit. Zoe used to fuck them up, okay? Now we're going to move on to one that seems like some of y'all have forgotten. Who was Kim Possible's female best friend? Monique.
Yeah.
With them gold earrings and that 20-inch ponytail, bitch. Come on. All right, we go all the way to the Parkers. We go to the Parkers, right? We had all of them and who? Stevie, bitch. I mean, we take it all the way back to the OG Strawberry Shortcake. Who was Strawberry Shortcake's best friend? Motherfucking Orange Blossom. Y'all have not been paying attention. Baby, black people and gingers go together like peanut butter and jelly, bitch. Black people and gingers are destined to be a united front. I mean, come on. Y'all gonna sit here and pretend like black people haven't always preferred Jessica Rabbit over Lola Bunny? Come on.
I guess I got lots of editing to do, but
That's so funny. That's so funny because it's so true. They just, and you know what? I don't even know why. I don't know if it's because of the red hair, but a lot of people that I knew with red hair growing up, they had black kind of features. I mean, bigger lips, bigger hips. Like, I don't know. I don't know why they were like more curvy, but that's what I noticed from the redheads that I were friends with growing up. They had more of, I don't know, just the vibe and also the figure. So I don't know if there is some truth to what they said about that Haiti. I have no clue, but that's just my observation. They tend to be a little more on the spicy side. So I don't know, even though they can't handle the sun like that, but they be coming out like lobsters, low-key, because apparently it's true. Apparently when you have red hair, you actually can't handle the sun or pain as well. I don't know. That's apparently a thing scientifically.
well, it's for the anesthetic or something like that. You need more of it for that
Yeah.
than other people. We're gonna hear from a Scottish girl. This is kind of interesting what she has to say.
Things as a redhead you may not have known about us. First of all, redheads used to be burned at the stake for having red hair because they believed that you were a witch. People to this day still comment asking if I'm a witch. Next up, there were groups in society that believed that if you were born with red hair and pale skin, that you were most definitely a vampire, and then you were excluded from society and usually burned at the stake again. Redheads also get asked a lot of inappropriate questions. When we're growing up from a young age, people ask us really insensitive and inappropriate questions about our hair colour and our body hair, and it's just super, super weird. Not to mention the fact that beauty brands often exclude the pale tones and shades because they're not that popular and they don't sell as well, with redheads only making up 1% of the world's population. Makeup artists that do have these palettes and shades available, well, these guys are professionals. And not to mention that people often touch your hair without permission because they just want to know what it feels like. And whilst red hair is more coarse and thicker than normal hair types, it actually is just hair. If you're a redhead and you have pale skin and you don't wear any makeup on a day, you can expect for people to ask you if you're ill, ask you if you're feeling okay, tell you that you are extremely pale and unwell looking, even though that's just what we look like. Redheads require 20% more anaesthetic at the dentist or for surgical procedures, and often doctors don't believe this until their patient with red hair is in pain and begging for more anaesthetic. So have a think about that the next time that you meet a redhead.
See, I don't understand people because that woman is beautiful. That woman is absolutely beautiful. And that's another thing. She did say that red-haired people have more coarse hair. That's true. A lot of the red-haired people I knew had super thick curly hair, more curly than my natural curly hair when I was growing up. And they would like straighten it like every single day, wake up and straighten it. And I was like, what the hell? It's so beautiful. Just leave it. You're out here with your, you know, your brave Scottish, what was that one cartoon that they done on Disney, the Brave or whatever, Scottish girl.
Brave.
Yeah. Beautiful, curly, thicker and curlier than mine. Now it's straight, whatever. But yeah, they be having those features. I'm telling you, it's very, I don't know. It might be on that end. They're not beating in the allegations. That's all I'm gonna say. They're not beating the allegations.
Well, one thing I sat down and said is that these guys have been pretty silent about a lot of stuff, and people didn't realize until this came out how much of this was going on. I even heard other people say about it, but this guy talks about what was going on when he was in school.
What's up, guys? While I'm waiting here, I thought I would chime in on the TikTok phenomena that is saying redheads, gingers, are honorarily black. My 2 cents on this. Just a quick story. So I grew up in a black neighborhood. I went to an all-black school for a while, and I would just like to say that while I lived in a black neighborhood and I went to an all-black school, I never got bullied. I never got othered. I never got made fun of. If anything, everybody was always cool to me, treated me like everybody else. My mom's best friend was black, and her and her family were always like super nice to me. But when I went to the all-white school, that's when the bullying started. That's when the othering started. You know, people would call me ugly pretty regularly. I got bullied pretty fucking hard. And a lot of the times it was making fun of me for my hair and my freckles and, you know, being a pale person and whatnot. The irony of this is that my dad actually is Filipino. And so I'm not entirely white, but I look like this. So, yeah. But my experience, black people have always been really cool to me. I love black people. I love black culture. And to me, that's an honor that anybody's even saying that. I appreciate it. Seeing all these TikToks of other redheads talking about their experiences has been really actually super cathartic for me. It's a very unique experience to be a redheaded person. I think you don't really understand that unless you're one of us. I mean, like, there's usually, you know, only one of us in a room, you know what I mean? Or if there's even one of us in a room, you know, so there are similarities that we have with being in spaces sometimes where we don't feel exactly super comfortable or welcome. I would never compare it to dealing with the same pressures or you know, injustices of people of color, but it is its own unique kind of othering that happens. You know, that's pretty weird and interesting and unique to the person who's dealing with it. Funny side note story. When I was a kid, the first music I got into was hip hop. I still love hip hop. And my favorite rap group was Public Enemy. And my favorite movie was Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, because also Public Enemy is in that movie. But at the time in rap music, if you remember, it was really popular and cool to wear those leather African medallions, right? Like, instead of a gold chain, you wear like a black leather African medallion, right? And I thought they were so cool. And I traded a kid in my class a G.I. Joe, specifically Zartan, if you know G.I. Joe. I traded a G.I. Joe for one of those African medallions, and I wore it around me, and I thought it was cool, and I didn't understand why maybe that's not okay. And then one of my friends was like, yo, nah, you know? And then my sister was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't. But I meant well. Anyways, it's fun on TikTok right now. Thank you for inviting me to the cookout.
The cookout is crazy. And you see, he has curly red hair. And the difference is his dad is Filipino, but this guy straight came out full-blooded. I don't his dad's genetics didn't do nothing. Or maybe he has the face of his dad, I don't know, but the he's clearly, yeah, he's redhead, which is really cool. He's giving, though, you know, like those scene kids, which arguably are also black, I don't know, but you know, turn my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, don't need it. But anyway, no. But he's, again, something about that guy seems like he definitely was surrounded by black people. You can just look at white people and tell when they have black people influence. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an aura, a vibe, or whatever. I don't even like really saying that, but so many white people I've met, and I just looked at them and I'm like, and then they'll start talking after talking a little bit. Then they'll be like, yeah, I grew up in an all black area for like my whole life. And I'm like, that's what it is. There it is. You can just tell when someone's got the sauce, you know, when they got that little extra seasoning in them. Yeah, gingers, they have that. But like they said, people are constantly telling them, oh, well, like, oh, can I touch your hair and all this other stuff? The same thing that people do to black people. They're literally getting the N-word treatment.
Yeah, it's
Literally.
Yeah, it just shows you that people will just, they'll pick on anybody, right? Right? Like, you're a difference, and they'll be like, okay, well, it'll just be an us or them, that kind of thing. But
except for them.
yes, but I mean, like a larger group will find someone like to go on the smaller group. And so there's this girl, she was saying the same thing about something about black people and her experience, which is kind of funny.
I have never met a black man who has made me feel insecure or less than for having curves, but I can think of plenty of white men who have made me feel less lovely, less beautiful, less womanly for having a little curves. So thank you to all the black men out there who can appreciate a little extra cushion.
Again, curly hair, curvy. I said it. She's got. I've been saying it. This is the experience. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. And a lot of people. This one girl said, she's a redhead. She said, people will look at her and say, "Oh, you're pretty for a redhead." I'm like, that's crazy, because like most of the redheads I seen were absolutely beautiful, like gorgeous. The men and women, like equally. I don't know if it's just the different look or whatever, but again, the usually people would say, "Oh, well, you look exotic." But for them, like the one guy, he said, okay, well, they would tell him that he was just straight up ugly, which is crazy, because objectively, the guy is not ugly. He's got he's half and half with the hair. He's bleached some of it. He wears nail polish, but objectively, the structure of his face and things like that, you can tell that the guy is actually an objectively attractive person. So people, it's like the level of delusion. It's crazy to me that people can actually just look at people, and then they've created in their mind. It's like the words that are in their mind is preventing them from their eyes seeing what is actually in front of their face. Like their brain tells them the sky is purple, and they're watching the sky is blue, and they're like, oh no, it must be orange, or something completely off the wall. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like they're not even computing proper information. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's not even.
Like, I mean, I hung out with a few redheads. I mean, I dated a couple of redhead girls. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm like, people are people. If they're cool, they're cool. But I understood that they did get dumped on, and you could tell, like they would say, like the redhead beaten like the redhead stepchild and all that kind of stuff, right?
That's crazy.
and so forth. And we're gonna listen to another girl here talking about her experience with this thing here, this trend.
I made a video the other day that kind of blew up about gingers being black, and the outpour of love from black people is amazing. I made a video the other day about some politic thing, just a little light work, and I got so much hate from white people. Like, it is absurd. It's completely opposite, and everyone tries to act like black people are so mean. They're the nicest people. It's literally the white people. So we hope you really do mess with gingers, because we are here to stay, and we love it. Also, on a side note, I just dropped my daughter off at school, so if you can't love me at drop off, you don't deserve me at pickup. And if you're a mom, you get that for sure.
I mean, the one thing I sit down and say, regardless, I mean, with all the strife and tension, I mean, that people are just going on in the racist, all this nonsense. I mean, this is probably a good break for people from that, because I mean, sure, are there black people that do crime? Sure, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, not every black person is like that, and some people actually want to do some, things, and it just kind of shows some people that have some human side. Sure, are there people that are going to say stupidity? Of course, but at the end of the day, most people are the same, and they're do very similar things. And everybody wants to be treated a certain way. Everybody wants to have respect, love, and eat and have family and stuff like that, right? That's most people, regardless of whatever you look like. Yeah, sure, some might have a higher crime rate, but most black people are not criminals. That's just the way it is, right? You can't sit down and say more than 50% of black people are criminals. That's just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Anyway,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's take a commercial break, and we'll come back in on the other side.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks. Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day, and I absolutely love it, and so will you.
So yes, go to mypillow.com/Karis or call 800-845-2942 and use the promo code Karis if you want to check out the energy drinks, or if you want to try any of the other MyPillow products, go ahead and support, or you can go ahead and look at some of the things in the ticker that you can use to come and support. Obviously, there's the action plan if you want to go ahead and help out with Peters in Colorado, because we got one down there. You can also, yes, use the MyPillow that you see down at the ticker, or if you're watching on Facebook, Rumble, BitChute, you'll see the links in the description, or you can go to all my links / the Karis Project, or you can support. You see the donor box down there, or Gifts and Go that's coming. You want to support the fight against human trafficking and help keep the good content rolling. Yeah. And so, kind of rolling back, we're going to go and listen to a couple more these clips here where people are starting to talk about their experiences, which some people weren't maybe not as aware of. But this girl, she's young, and she talked about her experience being a redhead.
Apparently, gingers are black. That's what I keep hearing on my For You page. If anyone else, I keep seeing it all over. I'm just going to give my take on it because I am 15 years old. Here's all the things that I've been told throughout my life. Well, the first time I was asked if the carpets match the drapes, I was 8 years old. And it was by someone he was 9 years old. I had no idea what that meant, but I've been asked that question probably at least once every month or once every 2 months. Well, I don't have a specific age for this one, but everyone, since I was like so little, I can't even remember, has just come up to me and touched my hair. It's weird. They come up to me and touch my hair and ask me all types of questions about it. It's like, it's literally just like any other person's hair. Trust. I used to get highlights all the time because I hated how my hair looked, because I just wanted to be more normal. All the mean and negative comments about it started when I was about 6 years old, because kids started to realize it was different. So I was told when I was 12 years old that if I ever wanted a guy to like me or a guy to date me, I needed to change my hair color because it wasn't attractive or normal. I was 11 years old when I was told I needed to fill in my eyebrows by people I loved and looked up to because I looked weird or different. So it just kind of dragged my self-confidence down. I was 6 years old when I realized I was different from the other kids and that I thought something was wrong with me because people would make fun of me for unnecessary reasons revolving my hair color. I was the same age when I first started to get made fun of about my freckles. I've been insecure about it since then. I've just been made fun of for having red hair for almost my entire life. I've had countless of inappropriate jokes made since a young age. Since I remember seeing this picture for the first time of myself, and I was so insecure because of how my unique features showed, like all the features that I got bullied for stood out, and I hated it so much. But now I know it's not shameful to be unique, but it's rough when you don't fit a certain beauty standard and you get made fun of for it multiple times. I've been told countless of other certain things and details that I'm pretty sure most gingers have been told. And most of the compliments I get are, "You're pretty for a ginger. You're the prettiest ginger I've seen." That's not a compliment. I'm sorry. It's just degrading how we see ourselves. It's making us feel like we're different from everyone else. Regardless of everything, no matter how you look, people will still find a way to degrade you and diminish you no matter who you are or what you look like. It doesn't matter what hair color you have, it doesn't matter what skin color you have. People will find a way to degrade you and diminish you and make you feel like crap about yourself for the most unnecessary reasons. And you should just keep being you. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you if you think you're beautiful inside and out. And don't let anyone else change your perception on how you view yourself. Because it's genuinely so sad to see all these people on here telling their own stories and how they've been bullied as kids. And I think it's genuinely so sad, and I don't think anyone should change themselves to fit the beauty standards of social media, or just fit the beauty standards of what other people are telling you to be. So it doesn't matter who you are, but it doesn't cost to be kind to people. Don't make people feel like crap about themselves, and don't let situations like this happen.
Again, that girl is beautiful. She's only 15. I thought she was like 20 or something.
No, she's definitely not an ugly child at all, right?
No, but the fact that people were saying that to her and she's just a kid is crazy.
Yes.
You know what? Like, and the inappropriate, disgusting stuff, that is messed up and traumatizing. And also,
she has super nice hair. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with her hair. I'm like, this is where people are just stupid, man. Like, why do that to the kid, right?
People have such, they have, as soon as they get in their mind, like, if they think, it's like the one drop rule. If people think you're one drop black, then all of a sudden you're tainted. Oh, they might like you, but then as soon as they find out you're one drop black, oh, that's that dirty N-word. I have an Italian friend. Just let that sink in, by the way. Italians are the N-words of Europe, by the way. They're right up there with the Irish. I was one day driving with my friend, and I was like, yeah, we were talking about like ethnicities or whatever. I said, yeah, on my dad's side, I got some Scottish and Irish in me, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I can tell because I seen you have some freckles on your face. Mind you, I have like 3. And I was like, wait a second. And also, like, my hair, like, gets a little bit red. So in the sun, so you could see that as well. And I'm like, wait a second. You're disgusted of like a small, tiny percentage and a small, tiny drop of evidence. And you're literally Italian and black? You're like a double N-word. Like, why are we, like, what was crazy to me, I was like, the smallest, once people in their mind, they don't like something, like how they don't like redheads, or they maybe don't like the Irish, they don't like the Scottish. As soon as you demonstrate that you have the slightest bit of affiliation to them, or a connection in some capacity, they look at that as a means to look down on you even more, or like they don't like you to, and maybe, as a friend, from a friend point of view to another friend, okay, maybe he's just like, oh, well, I'm treating her like one of the guys because she's my friend, so like friends joke about each other, but it still shows like the mindset, you see what I mean? And people automatically go there. And it's like, in my mind at that moment, I was like, do people really not like the Irish and the Scottish that much? That like 3 freckles would piss you off? Mind you, I have like probably 3 freckles. I only have a handful of freckles on my face. And that was enough for him to be like, those stupid Irish and Scottish. Like, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, some people, I mean, that's just the way they're. But then, speaking of this, I think this is the Scottish girl again talking about being the gingers being black now.
Something incredible has happened to redheads and gingers. I don't know if you know, but many people of the black community have came out and said that they see redheads and gingers aligned with many of the genetic features and the characteristics of black women. This has really brought up such an important issue because so many of these gorgeous women are coming forward and saying that they can identify that something is off with the way that redheads are treated by many people in the white community. And this is something difficult thing to talk about because it's not racism. I don't know where that falls, but being born with red hair and super pale skin, but not feeling accepted is a really, really tough spot to be in. You get bullied from a young age. You're made to believe it's horrible. People insult you without even meaning to. Some of the things that people have said to me because I have ginger hair growing up has been the most unhinged experience of my life. I once met a woman who came up to me and she said, I like your ginger hair, but honestly, my biggest fear when I was pregnant was that I was going to give birth to a ginger baby. And I didn't know what to say. And I just was like, okay. She's like, and I'm really sorry for saying this. She was like, but I actually think I would prefer a child with a disability than red hair. And that is genuinely, hand on heart, what someone has said to me. That is just honestly not even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the type of comments that you're experiencing when you're growing up with red hair. So for people in the Black community to come out and call out that something is not right in the way that people with red hair are treated, and to call out the fact that something is off, is the best thing that could happen.
But it's true. I mean,
do you know how illogical it is to say I would rather have a mental
I know. I know. That's and she's like, but we're white, right? She's like, it's not racism. I don't know what to call it, right?
You know what? I actually probably wondering if white people look at gingers and they're like, oh, those dirty N-words. They probably like, they've got all the features.
Like, I mean, I can't believe that the woman had the audacity to say that to her face, that like, my worst fear was to I like your red hair, but my worst fear was to have a red-haired baby. And I honestly would rather have a disabled baby than a redhead child. Like, what?
I like your hair, but I would rather have a disabled baby than a redhead. You know what she really just told her? You're not like all the other N-words. I like you. I don't really like N-words, but I like you. You're not like all the other N-words. Here, have a cookie.
But I still didn't want to have a baby that looked like you.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't ever. That's the thing. It's the same thing in our society right now. A lot of people, they like the benefits that come with, being Black, the music, the culture, the style and things like that, the charisma and all that. But they would never once, they're like, oh, I have a Black friend. I like my Black friends. But if you ask them if they could trade their life for one day being Black, they would sooner kill themselves.
It's just like, no.
They're like, no.
All of you, they're like, oh yeah, Black people, this and that. I'm like, okay, well, trade with me.
Trade with one day, for 12 hours.
They're just like, no, sorry.
They want everything except the actual experience of a lived Black person. A lot of people say, oh, Black people have such a better life than us. Black people have so much more privilege than us as white people. Okay, live their life then. Oh no, I would hate being Black. I don't want to be an N-word. Okay, so then you proved your point, because a lot of Black people are like, you know what, I would actually really love growing up in a white experience. I'm glad to be, Black and Native, whatever, but still you show based on, like, for example, a lot of people come to America because their countries are awful. Americans, as much as they could complain about America, they're not running in droves to Russia or Asia, like different countries in Asia, like the Philippines or Japan or Korea. They're like, the pastor on Saturday at church said, as much as I complain about this place, I ain't going a damn place. He's like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying my behind here.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is. If you're a white and you understand, if you really thought Black people's experience was better, you would want to be an actual Black person. But your example of what you do and how you portray everything is very clear on who actually has the better experience.
Oh, yes. And so now we're going to go and pull up clip from a black ginger. See what he has to say.
It took one woman to come on here and say gingers are black. For y'all to believe finally that I'm black, that's crazy, bro. I have 2 black parents. 2 parents darker than me. And nobody was believing me until this lady, shout out to her though, shout out to her, until this queen, let me fix that. This queen came on here and said, gingers are black. So forget all the family pictures, all the melanin, excuse me, not right now. I've been inside, I look like a sugar cookie, whatever. Summertime, excuse the melanin, right? Excuse the hair, excuse everything, you know what I'm saying? Forget all that. I was still a white man. Now, and only now that she says something, now everybody call me black. It's crazy, but shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the gingers around the world, white, black, everybody. Shout out to y'all, man. I grew up hating my freaking freckles. You know what I'm saying? They was calling me a ripe banana. I got called fire crotch. Yo, Sinbad, Jadena, any name in the book, I heard it. Finally, we getting some love. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Gingers, and again, the guy is an objectively attractive guy. Why? How can you look at a ginger person and be like, just because you have freckles, just because you have red hair, you're ugly? That doesn't make sense. I don't care what race you are on the planet, what ethnicity. First of all, there's one race, the human race. I can't stand when people use race as a means to say people of different color or different nationality. I don't care what nationality, which is country you come from. I don't care what ethnicity you are, which is your bloodline. And I don't care what anything else background you have. You know, if you are an attractive person and if you have a good character, then that's who you are objectively. You could be from India, you could be from the Congo, you could be from Japan, you could be from Switzerland or Russia or Kosovo or Bulgaria. I don't give a damn. If you're attractive, you're attractive. It's just I don't understand people. I feel like they're lying to themselves, and I think a lot of their rage comes from the fact that they know that they're attractive. They're angry that they shouldn't like them because they think that they should be less than them, and then they treat them even worse because they're like, how are you this attractive and you're supposed to be less than me with that hair color and all and those freckles and all. Because that's how some people hate the fact, some people treat black people even worse because they're actually attracted to them and they're disgusted by their own attraction to them. Like, I've also heard people say, oh, you're very pretty for a mixed girl, or I hate black people, but you look exotic and I would date you. Oh, where are you from? You just don't look, you're not like all the other N-words. Quite literally,
I've heard people say things like that. Oh, you're not like all those other. I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, do not realize like that I am like, you are speaking to me. Like, do you not? Why are you talking about my blackness like it's in third person? I can compartmentalize my blackness and then just be like, oh, yeah,
it's just this human nature. It's kind of funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
They try to find a reason. Or you're very whitewashed. Oh, you're the most whitewashed mixed girl I've seen. Oh, I like whitewashed versions of it. What? Like people, yeah, man, I don't know. For the gingers, I don't even know what their saving grace is because, like she said, I don't know what to call it. It's not racism because I'm already white. But they can't even justify by saying that they're whitewashed because they're already white and they hate them to the 10th degree. So
yeah. So we'll pull up this other girl here.
So we all know redheads are black now. And that's great. And I love that redheads are speaking up and kind of like talking about what other white people have said and done to us. And I've heard things like the fire crotch, does the curtain match the drapes, the touching the hair. But can we talk about how we are stereotyped into being crazy? That redheads are crazy. I don't know if you guys have gotten that, but I have. People see me and they immediately think I have attitude, that I'm mean. I'm not. probably one of the sweetest redheads you'll ever meet. At least this version of me is.
This version of me is crazy because now she's playing into the crazy. But
Yes.
yeah, I grew up with friends who, like, the females who were like, yeah, redheads are crazy, and people say redheads are crazy, but they were low-key also crazy. Like, some of them were low-key actually crazy. Like, but it was more of an eccentric, like, they were high energy kind of crazy. I don't know why. Like, it wasn't like they were evil demon crazy, but they had some very dark humor. It was kind of funny, but they were, and also very eccentric, high energy, like, personality. But crazy is actually crazy. Saying that just because they have red hair is crazy is actually insane. But you know what? That's funny because people look at Black people, and no matter how qualified they are for something, no matter how many degrees they have behind their name, if they say something, it's vexatious, it's crazy, oh, this can't be right, they don't know what they're talking about, oh, in their own field that they studied and graduated with a 4.0 GPA, oh, okay, true.
Yes.
So this person has no degree whatsoever, no qualification, they can just tell you that it's not true, and you're just gonna be like, oh, yes, massa.
That I just had to have everybody else tell me what needed to be done because I didn't know what I was doing. So that person who had no experience in what I was doing knew better than me and had to instruct me on how things were going. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously not every white person is like that. I'm not saying that at all. That's nonsense. But there are the racist ones that do that. And racist people, I don't care if you're Black, if you're white, whatever race you are, racism makes people do stupid things. It really does.
Right.
And it just hurts people and causes them more harm. And you listen to these people that are going on, and we'll come back and we're gonna have more clips because I like this thing. It was actually nice to have a little bit of a lighter topic to talk about, but it brings out some stuff that people are going to see, and you're going to hear from more of the people of what their experiences were. And these are white people. They're talking about the way they were treated by white people, right? And do you know what I'm saying? And so it's like they're coming out of the closet. And I had listened to a girl on a TikTok. No, she's wasn't a red, and she's like, I didn't even know about this. And I'm like, yeah, because if you're not the one experiencing it, it doesn't seem that way.
That's exactly it. If you can say that you don't even know about it because you can live peaceably and it's not your experience because you are not the one experiencing it every single day. So you're like, oh, life is roses and it's so amazing and nothing's wrong because you are going through life with rose-colored lenses on. You don't have to go through the chaos and hell that these people go through every day, being traumatized from other little things because nobody's doing it to you.
Yes.
That in itself is a privilege that white people have within themselves, layers of privilege.
Well,
it's almost like it's within the racist people. It shows that they are trying to go back. They value the Aryan race of just the blonde hair, blue eyed people, and the Hitler kind of stuff. The ones that are genuinely racist.
Well,
because even brown haired people say that they don't get treated as well as blonde people.
Yes. But when you look at this, and you look at even some of the racist people, they didn't care when Black people were killing each other. They still don't care because Black people are killing way more Black people than they are white people. But that's not what concerns them. It was only until it affected them, right?
Well, they'll justify it by saying that Black people are just criminals, so that's their problem. But they don't care. They're like, oh, that's like, and that's crazy in and of itself. Because if you're a Christian, you can't believe that.
If I took a group of white people and I did what they did to Black people over the course of 400 years, you would see pretty much the same type of thing that you happen here. This is social engineering and a lot of abuse. And yes, people have personal choice, but if you incentivize the wrong choices while you're pressuring people and not letting them get up, you're going to make it a lot easier for them to make the wrong decision. And you saw this during COVID. Look how many people took the jabs and all of these things. And this was over a short period of time. And then they were breeding the Black people like animals and killing the smart ones and breeding the ones that were compliant. Well, what did you think was going to happen when you did stuff like that? And now it blows up in your face, and then you're like, oh, right? But anyway, we're we're, run, we're running up on time. We're really running up.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you look at what they done to that little boy when he stole the toy from the 5-year-old autistic black boy that stole the toy from the white lady's bag or whatever, and how the internet was treating him, and all they were saying evil things should be done to him after that one incident because of black fatigue. Do the 400 years of the slavery and torture to the white people and see how they respond.
Got to close with a prayer because we can finish on the other side.
Yeah.
Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. And Father, I ask of you this day for us to come together and start treating each other like human beings and to love our brothers as ourselves. And Lord, I ask of you this day to bless us and be with us this day and help us to come together to protect the children. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thanks, Dad, for the prayer as always. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the other side. And we need unity and not the division and racism. But anyway, stay tuned a couple minutes for part 2. Anyways, thanks for your time and considerations. And to my dearest Karis, until we meet again, my friend, and we will. Ciao. Hey everybody, Kaysha here, and today I am here with my friend
Jennifer Guskin,
and we need your help. We are right now working on advocacy for combating human trafficking, and here's why. So we'll give you a little bit of background of our story and why we're doing what we're doing.
I was adopted as an infant by a couple who sold me throughout my childhood. I have been to Epstein Island and on multiple Lolita Express types of flights as a child. After I went public, Child Protective Services opened a substance-exposed newborn case, even though all tests came back negative, and they told me that if I wouldn't stop posting on social media, I would never see my daughter again. I started to connect how I was adopted as an infant and then sold throughout my childhood, how many other children who have been through the adoption, foster, and CPS pipelines have also been trafficked to Epstein's Elk.
And as many of you guys know already, based on the work that we do at the Kaysha Project, I'm an American Indian born in Canada under the Jay Treaty. My father and I were exposing the improper contagion mitigations for the COVID pandemic in early 2020. As a result of this, I lost everything: a house, cars, corporate assets, jobs. Bank accounts were shut down in Canada, and I fled to the US as an American Indian, fully documented, and was trafficked by rogue agents in ICE and other agents in the government, and forced to live with single American men. I was even imprisoned for 7 months initially and then trafficked throughout the states. Put on full surveillance tracking and wasn't allowed to leave the city house or state without permission or work without permission. And that happened for many years, and I was on and off the streets because of that, and in and out of shelters. And that is just a small example of what many go through in this trafficking system, be it the family courts or otherwise. So that's why the CARES Project will be going to DC to speak with representatives and do live reporting. We're also going to be in contact with other families who are dealing with human trafficking, and through the CPS courts or through any other means, lesser versions of trafficking, and doing reporting on them live and otherwise. We will also be working on, we ultimately want to shine light on what's going on with the trafficking here in the US. And we also want to meet with various agencies in DC, and we'll be going back and forth for training sessions and other things so that we can be better equipped to help people deal with resolving some of the issues that we're seeing. We will also be putting forth petitions in government to help people get justice, and that's something that we have been working on already so far. We have some petitions that have recently been filed in the state of Colorado, Michigan, Texas, and Arizona, and we will be continuing.
But we can't do this on our own. We will be traveling to events and training courses, as well as DC on a consistent basis. We also have to get acceptable equipment, such as computers, cameras, interview gear, etc. There will be other miscellaneous costs that would also be like gas, food, and rooms if necessary.
So that is why we are working towards combating human trafficking, and that is exactly why we need your help. We cannot do this alone, and most what the CARES Project does is on its own dime. And so we do love and appreciate each and every one of you that support us and all the work that we do. As many of you know, we also live stream on Lindell TV every day. And everything we do, like I said, is on our own dime. So we appreciate all the love and support and all the people who do donate. And we would very much love and appreciate that still. Thank you, everybody, for your time and considerations. And thank you for all the support. And we will catch you guys in the next one, and hopefully we might see you guys in the future and come across you and maybe be able to do some great things together.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the CARES Project podcast, episode 112 of the Matrix Reloaded. Orange is the new black. Yeah, I just want to tell people, like, I grew up in Canada. I grew up with mostly white people around me, then some Filipinos. But when I was younger in elementary school, for most of the elementary years, there was like one other black family. And then there's a couple more that came, right? And so, I mean, when I was in the States and stuff like that, before people would look at me when I was talking, like, wow, I'm like, well, I sound like the people I grew up around. That's just the way life is. And so forth. And so I know what it's like that grew up with white people that are like very good friends of mine. And when things go on, they reach out and ask me what's going on, right? And so I understand when people are being genuine and when people don't like you. You don't have to say a word to demonstrate that somebody's racist. Their actions will tell you, their body language and everything else like that will tell you whether they don't like you or not, right? And it was very easy to figure that out. And you just kind of stuck to the people that you were good with and the people that weren't. And even some people, like I would get into it with black people because they were racist. I was like, I don't take that from you. I don't care. It's stupid. Racism is foolish, especially when it comes from a man, because you have to be the one to protect your family. You can't be going on hurt feelings, and you can't be like, if it's one's bad, they're all bad. If you do that, you will cause the destruction of your own people, and you cannot protect your family. You got to be able to, and your community. You got to be able to tell who's the friend from the enemy based on their actions. Because if you can't do that, who's to tell you that person who you might hate might be the one that's going to save you and your people? But then you get rid of them, and then guess what? You've just destroyed yourself. Because maybe that person was going to tell you that the enemy's coming to wipe you out. Right? And then you're just like, oh, well, too bad. Now he's dead. Now we can't figure it out. I guess we're just going to have to bend over and take it. But this is why you don't do that, right? Because God will send anybody who's willing. So, anything you want to say before we start getting into it?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that as well. I think it's an exceptionally retarded thing to sit down and look at someone and be like, oh, just because they look a certain way, that they are good or they are bad. Like, what if you have a prejudice in your mind that, because somebody looks a certain way, you have a favor for them, and then they attack your wife while you're not around. And then you fail to see danger because you just had the prejudice in your mind that this person was automatically going to be a good person because of, how they look, their physical attributes or whatever. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Anyone can be a threat. Anyone could be a good person. They have to show in their actions. I don't know. I just never understood that. I think that's a very weak mentality, and that's how you get yourself in problems. I mean, bad things happen to everybody. Bad things happen to good people, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who very deliberately make fatal errors in judgment because they refuse to see the truth in front of them. And even with people of color, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, anyone can have this error in thinking, and then even with the reverse. So yeah, I don't know. Contents of character over everything, but that's what I always say.
Well, yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, you learn in situations. And it's like when I tell people, I mean, most of my negative experiences came from white people. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
I grew up with almost everybody was white. Like, what do you think I was
Yeah.
going to do? Fight with the black kids that my family knew that their kids were they were friends? No, because if you
Yeah.
fought with your family's friends, you get a whooping when you walked in the door. You wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, literally in school, I was the only black person in the entire school, until middle school when I was in grade 7. And then everyone was like, "Oh, is that your cousin?" And we were like, "No, we're not cousins. I don't know." And it was a Jamaican guy. He was a cool guy. We ended up being friends. And then after everyone was like, "Oh, you guys aren't related. You guys would be a cute couple. You should start dating." We were like, "What the hell?" Just because we're both black. We ended up being friends or whatever, just friends. But we were the only black people. And then the problems that I had, of course, were gonna be with white people. There was kids at school, like I talked about on one show before, I was friends with this one guy and his older brother. We'd walk back home in the same direction because our house was in the same direction. We had to walk through a field, and I don't remember how it came about, but his older brother was actually kind of like a hyena. Like, literally, if you could picture a human as a hyena, it was the brother. He had a chain belt and beat me with the chain belt one day while calling me the N-word. Did the school do anything about it? No, they did not. When I was on the bus, sometimes going home, the high school kids, when I was in elementary, would pull my hair out of my head, and the bus driver was too afraid to do anything about it. The old lady, this kind of stuff, like, people think that the stuff doesn't happen because it doesn't happen to them because they live a normal existence, but the stuff is very real. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that we hate black
No,
people. I mean, white people, we
no.
don't. It's just that the stuff happens. It just happens.
I just know that not every person, not every black person is good. Not every white person is good.
Exactly.
There is evil people in every race. It's a choice. Now let's listen.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears and go back to listen to what this woman talks about her experience. She's a little bit of an older lady, so let's hear what she has to say.
I didn't want to let this gingers are black thing go. I could not let it go without making a post about it. I have a couple of stories that are related to this. Growing up, obviously, red hair, freckles, the whole thing. Also, the name Mora, which in the United States of America at the time that I was growing up was somewhat unusual. I felt other as a redhead. And my siblings are not redheads. But anyway, I was the red. That's what my dad called me. And I think the one story I want to relate, a couple of them, they highlight my white privilege. Let's just put it that way. In some sense, they do that. We had young Scottish women from Scotland who came and lived with us as what we called maids. It's like an au pair. So there was an opportunity for these young women to come to the United States and have a job and have a place to live. And my mother not to go into the hospital with a nervous breakdown with the four of us. So I'm roughly 5 years old. And this one woman, she just didn't like me. She was mean to me. Brushing my hair at night, the ritual at night was like, my hair was, I was crying always. And of course, I don't know if you know this, but redheads have a higher sensitivity to pain. One New Year's Day, I remember I had to be about 5, I'm going to guess. She came into the room and saw me, and she screamed at the top of her lungs and turned around on her heel and ran back out again. And I was like so stunned and frightened. I didn't know what had happened. And it turns out it's very bad luck to see a redhead first thing on New Year's Day. It bodes ill for the rest of the year. That's a Scottish superstition. Confirm this for me, please, you Scottish people, if this is true. But anyway, that was my experience. She screamed and ran from the room when she saw me. And I had to have, she had to explain it to my father, and then I had to be placated. I was very upset. I was very sad. She was upset. It's like, I've ruined her life. Wow. I was 5. Later, several years later, my parents divorced, and my father moved to Michigan, and the way we got to see him often was vacations that involved business trips for him. And one of those vacations was at a big hotel up in northern Michigan, the Grand Hotel, if you've ever heard of it. Back in the day, the tradition was that they had the wait staff was all Black people. I guess it was kind of like, let's like make America great again. Yeah. It was like hearkening back to when the servants were all Black people. Now, I probably was about 9 at this point, maybe. That was not lost on me. I was starting to get some consciousness of things of that nature. But there was one waiter in particular who was very friendly and very outgoing, and he was nice, and he was nice to us, and he was really nice to me. And he made a comment one day that he put his arm up next to mine, and he said, "You got me in spots." And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm going to be all right. That acceptance from this total stranger meant a lot to me. Moving forward, of course, I grew up in the 60s with the music, and my favorite music was Memphis soul and Motown and whatnot, and all that entails. And I just I just knew that I wasn't going to get through this shit without crying. Hearing the stories, listen, I didn't go through some of the hell that a lot of redheads went through, and I certainly didn't go through anything like what a Black person would have to live through. But it's touching, and that alliance of gingers and Black people, I think, well, we could start to get somewhere with that shit. Maybe we will make some progress. I'm just saying.
That's rough. The lady's still traumatized. That's crazy. I can't hear you, man.
They said yes, and people say that doesn't matter what you say to a kid, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, a kid is a
does.
kid, man.
It does.
Crazy. Because she was 5, just like the other kid.
Yes.
She's like, I didn't. And that lady was from Scotland. That's what's crazy. The disrespect is insane when she's literally from Scotland.
Yes.
So insane.
You could destroy a child with your words. Absolutely destroy a child, wreck their life and everything else like that.
You know what? Thinking that a black kid doesn't have feelings or he can withstand suffering at the age of 5 and a white child can't is actually saying that you're inferior to black people by nature. Even though you're putting them down, you're actually saying that they can withstand more physically, mentally, and emotionally than your own children, and they will survive the test of time and your children will not. You're actually saying that your own children are weak. Like for the people who were saying, oh, the kid, if he has to suck it up and blah, blah, blah. And this is actually why black people in large actually, and I guess now gingers and redheads as well, they probably withstand more things than the average person because people have the idea in their mind, well, screw them to begin with. And when you have that mentality against you from a young age, you learn to pick up and quick, and you learn to either make it or you don't. Like, it's just that simple. And when everything is, catered to your feelings and dancing around on eggshells with you because they think that they have to be delicate about every sensitive thing because you have the prejudice towards something, you actually make someone exceptionally weak. You actually cripple them. It's like taking a butterfly out of its cocoon. You kill it. It won't survive.
Yeah, because I mean, well, like I said, when I grew up as a kid, there was no DEI. There was none of that nonsense. There was no affirmative action. You just took it and you just had to deal with it. And there was a lot of stupid people. There's always stupid people, right? You just had to deal with it, right? So we'll go to this next clip. We've got another girl who gives her experience on the ginger.
Us redheads do not think we're actually or literally black. Let's just start off with that. We all own a mirror. And we understand we are the whitest of the white. This trend was not started by gingers. It was started by one black woman when other members of the black community got on board with it. We saw it, we appreciate the inclusion, and all of us, including myself, have just been making fun videos. I feel like it's been a fun time from both sides. Now, that is to say that if you are a part of the black community and you want no part of this, you think this is the stupidest thing ever, you're against it, that's okay too. The black community owes us nothing because while we may have some beautiful locks of hair, we are still, in fact, for 99% of us, we were on board with it and was like, yeah, we are black, let's go. And again, it wasn't about actually being black. It was about being included into a community that we already felt included into and comfortable with. And as I said, the black community owes us nothing. So for them to welcome us with open arms felt very healing to a lot of us, but also validating at the same time. And I do know that there has been a few videos that were racist and not okay, but for the bulk of them, for the bulk of us, we've all just been excited and happy to be here. And I'm serious. I will come to a cookout. You don't want me to bring any food, but I'll bring the booze. And for the who keep having comments warning of us of the black community like we've never interacted with them in our lives. Be fucking for real. It's 2025. The reason we were so quick to switch sides, our bags were already packed. We were ready to go. I feel safer in a room or a crowd of black people than I will ever feel in a room of white people, and that is sad. I can't speak for all gingers, but for this one, the thought of them flipping the script or changing things or all of those things using us, that's never been a thought because that's the experience that we've had with not black people. We still know our stance. I will still walk into a room and have white privilege. I won't be scared when a police officer pulls me over. The maternal mortality rate for gingers is not going to change. We are all having a fun time, but I also know that there's very real things at play. And that's why I don't get upset when someone in the Black community is completely not okay with this. Why would you be? How many times has us acted like we were allies and then flipped the script? And as redheads, we have to be careful about the jokes we make. And while some of the things are funny and it's a great time, there is a very real issue underlying all of this. And it's an issue that us white people started.
There's levels to this. There's levels to this. They have levels to their own race. And that's the thing, because why, if you say that white people are better and Black people suck, those people are still white, but they have red hair. That's people that could be on your side fighting the war with you, but you hate them so much that you other them just because they have red hair. Like, white people really dissect their own, like the racist ones, they really, they dissect every, like they only want a very certain type of white person.
It's like the light skin, dark skin with Black people. Like, I mean,
yeah, I'm just gonna say that, like the light skin, like people don't even, Black people who are racist don't consider me Black because they say that I'm tainted. I'm not Black on all.
Some Asians don't like the darker Black, the Asians, like, for example, like the Filipinos. Like, most, you go to most places in Asia, you talk Filipinos, they're just like,
yeah,
right.
They call them the N-word. I mean, even in the Middle East, they call them sand N-words. I mean,
like this just what this goes to show you is just human nature. They will do something. They'll do something grimy to anybody that's different, just so that they can feel better. This is human nature. If they're doing it to, like, I mean, there's stupidity everywhere. Let's just put it that way. Let's pull up this girl here to talk, because what she says was actually kind of funny. I liked what she said here. So let's listen to this this Black girl talk about the gingers.
Okay, firstly, good morning or good afternoon, depending on whatever time you see this. Child, we got some stuff to unpack. So there's this trend going around on TikTok that all gingers are Black people, and it is the most beautiful and hilarious thing to watch. All of these ginger people who are not melanated, by the way, the ones that I've been seeing, find out that they have Black ancestry. It's beautiful to witness, because a lot of the videos that I've seen is, you know, ginger people, non-melanated ginger people, are coming into their own sense of belonging. Like, oh my gosh, I never understood why I felt so accepted by, you know, the Black community. Like, listen, there's a special place, at least for me, in my family. We have gingers in our family.
Yeah.
And there's always been a special place for ginger people, especially non-melanated ones, in our hearts. It just always has been. But what has even been more hilarious to watch is that people finding out that Malcolm X was a ginger. Y'all didn't know that? I call it the 3 no's of darkness. You don't know that you don't know that you don't know something. But like, for them to be shocked that Malcolm X was a ginger, y'all, it is the most hilarious and beautiful thing to witness. I promise it is. Now, obviously, Malcolm X, Lewis Little, he was known as Detroit Red. And that is because his mother had Grenadian and Scottish descent. So it's just hilarious to see, watching the gingers really recognize, like, oh, damn, I'm Black. Yeah, baby. Now, from a biological standpoint, gingers appear in multiple ethnicities, and it is because of the MC1R gene. But it's shocking to the non-melanated people to figure out that they got some Black in them because you share a gene. Well, I love y'all. But I just want to get the Black orientation for the newly discovered cousins that are gingers who just finding out that, you know, they share a gene. So we got a few key points to go over for the Black cookout orientation. So take notes. Now, this is specifically for the gingers with Black ancestry. So once again, get your pen and paper. Now, there are a few essentials you have to learn now that you're newly discovered Black. First one you must learn is the electric slide. It is a cultural rite of passage. This is a non-negotiable. There are YouTube videos. There's videos on here. You will learn the electric slide. Once again, it is a non-negotiable. Now, you will get bonus points for the Cupid Shuffle and the Cha-Cha Slide. Once again, all videos on these dances exist online. Go research them. Secondly, and this one's going to be really, really important, raisins do not, I repeat, do not go in potato salad. Please. Which brings me to my next subset of said point. You do not eat everybody's potato salad. Once again, I repeat, you do not eat everybody's potato salad. Meaning if you do not know the person who made it, you do not touch it. Yeah. Which brings me to my third point. Before you show up to any function, there is a question you must ask always. Who all over there? That would determine whether you show up to the function or not. Yeah. And this is especially for my non-melanated newly ginger cousins who do not have any rhythm. You clap on the 2 and the 4, not the 1 and the 3. You need to look up Earth, Wind, and Fire to get some practice in. Any song, pick one. And last point of this multi-part series for orientation, you will be judged if your macaroni and cheese is dry. There is something called a roux that you make when you make macaroni and cheese. You get your milk, you get your butter, you get your seasonings. And for seasonings, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. Now for part 2 of orientation, we'll be discussing media and music orientation that you must have in your arsenal as a newly discovered Black cousin. Stay tuned.
Oh my gosh, my cheeks are burning right now. This is hilarious. She had, what was that, the Let's Groove or September Earth, Wind, and Fire like picture. Oh my gosh.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all fun. Let's take a short commercial break and come back.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day, and I absolutely love it, and so will you.
So if anybody needs any of the MyPillow products, go to mypillow.com/care or call 800-845-2942. Use the promo code CARES. Or you can, if you're watching on Rumble, BitChute, or Facebook, you'll see the links in the description. Or you could go to all my links /the CARES Project. Or you can see in the links in the description other ways to support. Or you can see the donor box coming up or the Give, Send, Go to continue the fight against human trafficking and produce the good content that you see here. So we're going to bring up a clip of another guy who is talking about his acceptance into newly being Black as a ginger, and this one's kind of funny. I like it.
See, let me explain, because I don't think Black people realize how much of God's work they're doing right now. For no reason at all, they decided to extend an olive branch and just say, you know what, ginger folk, you guys are us. We want you over here. And we were like, we want to be over there. We're coming right over. And here we are. Growing up in school, being a redhead was not cool. We got made fun of. Raggedy Ann doll, redheaded stepchild. You look like somebody threw crap at you through a screen door. If my redhead's hearing this, they know what I'm talking about. They've all heard it. We got picked on. Another thing that's happened to me that you guys are just bringing full circle is growing up in a school predominantly with white people, I listen to rap music. I happen to think Black women were beautiful. So my entire high school career and growing up, it was, you know that you're white, don't you? Why don't you act your race? And black people said, you know what? You know what? Matter of fact, he is black. They are black. We want him over here. And you know what? We couldn't be happier than ever. We love you guys.
See, I told you that the redheads, they like black people too. Like all the redheads I know, they liked black women. The redhead men, they liked black women. The redhead girls liked black men. Like they're the same. We're the same. My friends, we are the same.
Well,
Welcome to the party.
They understood what it was like to get the short end of the stick, right? Like, because when you're all around white people, the redheads, they're like, right?
Yeah.
That was just the way it was.
But you know what's crazy? On the flip side, I'm not black enough for some black people, but the redhead is 100% black to black people. Do you see how twisted some of this stuff is?
I mean, it all
Do you see,
depends
like,
who you're with,
depends who
right?
you're talking to. Yeah, but it's like some of those, well, those people probably, the people who don't like me probably not consider the redheads, but you know, it's just the fact that there's varying levels of degrees to the stupidity. That's my point. Like
Yes.
this is you just gotta, like,
Yes. So now we're gonna listen to this girl talk about her experience as a ginger.
The redheads are black trend. I want to talk about it because I did not think so many redheads would come on the internet and share all of their stories. My eyes are literally watering right now because I think it's so crazy that our entire childhood we were hated. We were bullied, like we were made fun of for anything possible, like our freckles, our hair, the color of our skin, like being so pale. Like it is so crazy because obviously redheads are very rare, so there's typically not many of them. In my elementary, I want to say I maybe had 2 in my grade, if that, or 1. Like I don't even know. But I do know my entire childhood, I was bullied for having red hair. I was bullied for freckles. I was bullied for being pale. I was bullied for being different. And I always remember like going to the grocery stores and stuff, and the older ladies would always compliment my hair and always tell me like how pretty I was and never to dye it. But of course, as a kid, like I'm different and it hurts. It hurts to know that everybody around me called me the devil, like told me that I have no soul, told me that I was a witch. Like the amount of bullying I got, it is crazy because everybody's like, oh, it really wasn't that bad. But I'm reading these comments and it was so bad. Like the stories that people said, like it's all the same for all of us redheads. And I think it's crazy because redheads would not have this confidence if the one lady did not post that video saying redheads are black. And when it first took on the internet, everyone thought it was funny, but now everybody is realizing that redheads really were bullied. Redheads really were hated. Like, it is honestly so crazy to me. I can't believe I'm making a video of this, but the amount of other redheads that have felt the way that I felt makes me so sick to my stomach because we're all humans. It's crazy that us redheads did not feel wanted by nobody. And I honestly didn't even know that it was that bad. I knew it was bad for me growing up, but I didn't know it was this bad for every redhead. I don't want to cry. But I am so happy to see all of the redheads on TikTok right now, on all over social media, talking about how happy they are, how they love how everybody who talked down on them wants to be them, how everybody's trying to dye their hair, like trying to get this color. Like they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to become us. But back then it was a problem. But now you're putting on fake freckles. Now you're dyeing your hair red. Like it is so crazy, the society that we live in. And it's just blows me away because this is something that really nobody knows about. Like unless you're a redhead, like you don't understand. Does that make sense? When she posted that redheads are black video, redheads literally woke up from having no soul to having the most soul, I swear to you. Like, everybody has been texting me talking about, like, have you seen the new trend? Like, have you seen, like, this about redheads? Like, everybody has been blowing me up about that because, you know, obviously I have red hair. And I'm just like, yes. And it's crazy that it took this one video for people to realize, like, oh my gosh, yeah, you know? And it's even crazier. I want to know how the people who bullied us, how they feel. How do you feel right now? Because I'm not going to talk down on you. I was talked down on enough, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but I hope you're having the day you deserve. Crazy, because my entire like childhood, while I was also being bullied, I had friends who would always tell me, like, Sophie, you're an inside out Oreo. Like, Sophie, you weren't supposed to be white. Like, and I'm so proud of all of the other redheads and gingers sharing their stories on the internet and allowing themselves to be vulnerable and express that, because that really is something that is hard. And I'm proud of you, and let's just continue greatness and keep going. And redheads are beautiful, redheads are perfect, and most importantly, we're invited to the cookout.
Honestly, that girl has gorgeous hair. Gorgeous hair. The thickness, the shine, the color, everything about it is amazing.
Redheads generally have very nice hair.
Beautiful hair. Always, usually, yeah. I never really seen a redhead with botched up hair, to be fair. Like, it's always beautiful to me, at least. I don't know. It's really nice.
I mean, every crackhead has bad hair. Right? Just saying.
Well, crackhead, but I've not seen a redhead crackhead. But
I have.
Oh wow. Well.
I mean, I've
But
seen
this-
every kind of crackhead.
Well, that's fair. The thing is, though, when the white people that are racist, when they say, "Oh, you can't be a race traitor," and "Oh, if you go and be with someone from another race, then we're going to disown you." But when you're a white person with red hair and nobody wants you, where are you supposed to go? And the N-words are the only one that will accept you. Where are you supposed to go?
That. Yeah,
and that's why I said the redheads that I've known growing up, they always liked dating. They always was attracted to black people, probably because those are the only ones that wanted them. So then they get probably gone after more, because then they're going with people that aren't typical, because why? The people who are in their own race, don't want anything to do with them because they're fire crotch, or, they look like someone threw crap at them through the window screen. That's crazy, because I always thought Freckles was beautiful, always. So, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is the flawed logic, because when you have someone who's beautiful like that, they're white, they have red hair, but they're white, they have freckles, but they're white, they have blue eyes. A lot of them have piercing blue eyes or green, and it's beautiful, the contrast with their pink skin or whatever. But you don't like them, so where are they supposed to go? If no white person wants them because they're the devil and they should be burned and all sorts of stuff, then who should they have children with to continue the white race?
Yeah, a lot of them got teased bad. A lot of them got teased badly, like badly.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, as a kid, when you're growing up with your friends, redhead friends, they would make the jokes of the no soul or whatever, but that's when they were being playful. They weren't actually bullying them. But maybe it was hurtful to them. But I have some friends where they would make the jokes back and forth, oh, your mom, or oh, you have no soul. And in that way, I think it's just them being playful. But I'm sure a lot of them actually had genuine
trauma from
comments.
Yeah.
But I've never seen people of color ever attack a redhead person. Never. I never seen that growing up. Maybe it happened, but I never seen it. Never.
No. I mean, no. Let's listen to this next clip of this girl coming up and talking.
I'm not normally a girl that's going to cry on the internet. I have spent the last hour reading comments that are healing me. Healing parts of me that I didn't know needed healed. Healing parts of me that I didn't even realize were still hurting. A group of people that have been so marginalized and hated and judged for no reason. A group of people that have dealt with stuff that I will never understand, never fully understand. Y'all are just coming together to love on me? You want to talk about black girl magic? Look at my comments. Look at what you're doing for me. growing up, having red hair and being so bullied, it's like I expected it. It was, well, I have red hair, so of course I'm going to be bullied. If I've got pasty white skin, of course I'm going to be bullied. But yet I would look at my black friends and think, like, if anybody comes for them for their hair or their skin, like, think again. Absolutely not. So it's crazy to me that I never realized that it wasn't okay for me either. You're fixing something that you never broke. You guys are fixing something that it wasn't your job to fix. I literally feel more confident now. I mean, not now, but I feel beautiful. I feel people saying, "Welcome home, fam," and I'm like, I have family. I'm never again gonna freaking buy self tanner. I'm not gonna be ashamed of going to the beach. I'm not going to be scared of letting my natural skin color shine through. Like, you're changing my life in all of my freaking 38 years. Like, thank you. Somebody said to me, it's not a trend, it's a movement. And I feel that. I feel that deeply because this is bigger. This is bigger than just some TikTok trend. This is changing people's lives, and I'm one of the people that's been changed. Saying thank you feels so little. It feels so small for what you've done for me. But thank you. And you go tell me when that cousin walk is, because, you know.
You know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of redheads started dating black people after this, and you start seeing an influx of mixed because these people are now realizing that they have people that have been admiring them the whole time, and people go where they're loved. At the end of the day, like, people are always going to go where they're loved. They might want something, they might be interested in a certain group of people, like, and if that group of people's not interested in them, then they're just going to go where they're being admired and appreciated. Everybody needs appreciation, everyone needs love, everyone needs affection. And at a certain point, you can't keep up with the facade of, I'm just going to go with this just because. I'm never going to be with someone just because, oh well, you know, maybe they look like me or whatever. No, like, you got to go where you get the love at the end of the day. And now that they've realized this, hey, people are going to be up in DMs. This is the internet, man. This is the age of the internet.
You know,
the summer of love is going to be different this year.
Yeah, they just need to let people be people. That's really all there is to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you know, I think that it's good that people are getting to see and hear what people haven't really been talked about, because redheads get it bad and nobody really talks about it. Now people are talking about it and people are realizing, like, oh wow, look at that.
But I'm surprised people didn't know that. I'm surprised people didn't realize how bad it was.
Because if it's not happening to you, you don't think it's that bad.
But this is black people notice this, man, from time.
Because black people, they get the short end of the stick. So they're like, I see that happening to that dude over there. They shouldn't be getting it. Right?
But you know what? That also comes with the privilege of probably being a blonde hair, blue-eyed, or a light brown hair, you know, green-eyed or blue-eyed, whatever person. Because if you see these things, like, it's not like I was living the experience of the person, that exact red person, but I was it at school. So it's like, why are these people not also watching it from the same lens, unless they're like, oh,
because they're not the one who's receiving it. The people who are marginalized tend to have a tendency to gravitate together. Why do you think the Irish and the black people started to get together? Because one was slaves, the other ones were indentured servants, which are still slaves, and they're like, yeah, we don't want this no more, right? Like, it's just the way it is. So, yeah. So,
but you know what about the Irish? I just want to tell people right now, St. Patrick was a Sabbath keeper, and a lot of people gave him flack as an Irish because he was a Sabbath keeper. I just want to say that a lot of people talk about St. Patrick, but they actually don't know anything about St. Patrick.
Yes. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Speaking of, and by Sabbath keeper, I mean on Saturday.
Yes.
The Sabbath on Saturday. So yeah, just a fun fact about St. Patrick, because they gave him a lot of flack for that, and most people don't actually know very much about Irish. And a lot of Irish are actually hated because of St. Patrick and because he was a Sabbath keeper. So that could also give a little bit of context into why the Irish are hated so much. But anyways, that's a whole different podcast. But it's fun.
Yes. Fact. Let's get through these 2 clips left.
The ginger math is mathing. If you haven't heard, if you are a natural redhead, you are now black. It's really exciting for us. A lot of us are planning our cookouts this summer. Don't you worry. We are going to behave. We always behave. And the only ones that seem to be really bothered about this are the white people who are in fact not redheads. It's not our fault. Why are you blaming me for being born a ginger? Oh my God. No, like, let's really talk about this. I have not seen one redhead on this app try to compare having red hair, which, by the way, it goes deeper than our hair color, by the way. But I haven't seen one person actually compare it to racism or oppression in any sense. We can't compare, and I don't think any of us are trying to. We're just happy that we're belonging, because white people have been like pushing us aside for a long time. And I don't even know how this is a thing, but ironically, a lot of the videos I'm seeing from redheads have the feelings that I've had my entire life, that we feel more comfortable and like we belong with the Black community than we ever did more with the white community. And that's just keeping it real. I've also not seen one redhead on this app reject this idea. Not one of us have been like, oh, we don't want to be Black. I was 11, by the way, the first time I was asked if my carpets matched my drapes. 11. As long as we are not overstepping our bounds, and we gingers, we are carefully walking into this. We don't want to ruin a thing. And it's funny because even some Black people, I've seen like a few of you guys who are like, oh, we don't fuck with redheads. You're still white. Oh, that's fine. You have to fuck with us. That's the thing, is we aren't trying to be someone we're not. We're just like, if you want to fuck with us, like, let's follow each other. It's so funny, his story. My oldest is biracial. I told her today, I said, look, I know that all your life you thought that you were half Black, but now you're 100%. Welcome to the club. She's almost 21 and I think she's tired of me.
She does not even look like she has a 21-year-old, but I called it. She said, if you want to mess with us, let's follow each other. She's saying like, hey, slide in, come through. And her oldest daughter is biracial. So I said, man, the redheads and the Black people been giving each other love for a hot minute. The love is still there. That's crazy. That's so funny. I called it, man. That's hilarious. Can't hear you, man.
So at the end of the day, I mean, it's just all about like people are people, and people have a lot of similar experiences, and people that are different get picked on, even of the same race, right? And this is just the way it is. And people need to start, being a little bit better to each other. I'm going to pull up this last clip before we get up here.
How do I feel about being Black? I love it. My whole For You page right now is that gingers are Black. First of all, thank you. The biggest thing I want to say is that my whole life, the biggest, by far, biggest cheerleaders of my appearance, of my hair, of my skin, of my freckles have been Black women. It's been from such a beautiful place. It's so sincere. A lot of gingers are coming on here and talking about how we were bullied. And yes, I was too. I was called Casper. Somebody said that I was see-through. I was so pale I was see-through because you could see my veins. I was bullied. We were all bullied. Gingers were not having a moment in the 90s the way that they are now. And second of all, if I get to be an honorary member of the 98%, I am taking that all day. Thank you. That's the team I want to be on. I am so disappointed in my own race, my own gender, and the way that we work against ourselves. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, though, that my experience in life has been anything like what Black women deal with. This is all fun and games, and I love it so much. But let's all remember also that, yes, this is hilarious. And yes, we all want to be invited to the cookout so bad. Tell me who all going to be there. What can I bring? or nothing. I mean, I do season my food, but anyway, I'm getting off track. I still have white privilege. And gingers, I know we're only 2% of the population, but that's still a good number of people. And maybe if we all like this dialogue and we are all excited about the idea that we get to be maybe like just a tiny bit part of the Black community or adjacent to it, then maybe we should like think about what we could do to support them, not just how they've supported us and how sweet this whole conversation is. I worked for a Black news show for about 2 years, and almost every staff member was Black. And let me tell you, the things that I learned from working there changed my life, changed my perspective. The way that the internal racism that a lot of us have is so secret. You don't even realize necessarily that it's there, but that job like just busted open my brain in such a good way. So yes, please let me be part of this community. It is an incredible community, but also let's remember, like, when I was pregnant and I went to the hospital, I wasn't worried about the quality of care that I was going to get. I knew I was going to be taken care of. Okay. I didn't have to have an army of people in the room with me to make sure that I was listened to. I can go to doctor's appointments without having a friend on the phone because I'm worried that the doctor is going to minimize the pain that I'm in. I can drive a car and get pulled over without fearing for my life. The list goes on and on. So I think this is a really awesome and fun conversation. I think also it is a good time to just remember the reality of the situation as well. If we want the fun part of it, and if we want to be part of the conversation in a playful way, then I think we also need to be part of it in a serious way.
Yeah. I mean, I think that at the end of the day, there are some conversations, and it's a good thing. And I think that people should take from this that a lot of people, in a lot of ways, they're not that much different. And like, I mean, when you look on social media, you'll think that every Black person is a thug, they're crazy and all that kind of stuff, because that's what they're pushing. I don't see very many positive. For every one positive thing I see on social media about a Black person, I see at least 100 negative ones. And
Well, you know what?
that's insane.
Sorry. Yeah, and even the people like in the conservative movement, huge pages, they never say anything good about Black people. And I've met these people and told them about some of the work that we've done, and they don't say anything good of people of color. They're constantly posting negative things. And when they do talk about Black people, they're like, oh, well, they commit the most crimes and all this other stuff. I'm like, can you acknowledge the good people in the community instead of constantly talking about the criminals? Every time I meet a white person, I don't say, well, I know someone who was raped by a white person.
Well,
what?
Yes, and I don't do that. And we're run up on time. Like at the end of the day, we just have to understand there's good and bad in everyone. Look for the good.
Exactly.
Stay away from the bad. And that's really it. And we'll go along further. Anyway, I gotta close here with a prayer, and we'll see you guys again next time. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you this day. We thank you for your love, grace, and mercy. We thank you for the hope that you have given us, and help us that we would come together and learn from experiences and look for the good in others and work for the betterment of all the people. And Lord, I ask of you this day that we would come together to help protect the children in this time of need is my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thanks, Dad, for the prayer as always. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Well, you heard it here first. Gingers are Black. If you are a ginger, welcome to the club, family. Welcome to the club, man. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a good person, you're a good person. We got to stop judging people by the way that they look and start letting the contents of the character, the individual, tell us who they are. So anyways, guys, thanks for your time and considerations. We'll check you in the next one. And to my dearest Karis, until we meet again, my friend, and we will. Ciao.